Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So here's a new deck profile update for you guys today. This time it's on my dinosaurs. So as I mentioned, I will be bringing you guys two different builds of this deck simply because not everyone can afford Pot of Prosperity, and I was just lucky enough to finally get a playset. So anyway, I figured I'd show you the Prosperity build first, and then I'll do the Extravagance build after. The Extravagance build is a lot more budget compared to this build, but either way, they're both equally as good in my opinion, but I'll probably be playing the Prosperity build since I have them. So anyway, figured I'd just show you what I got. All right, so the main deck's 40 cards, and starting off with 3 copies of Overraptor. It's your Foolish Barrel, it's your Searcher. There's just no reason not to run this at 3. Next, 3 Miscellaneousaurs. Amazing card, the fact that it protects your dinosaurs during the main phase. It'll also act as a form of extender simply because you can just banish it, especially summon any other dinosaur monster depending on how many you banish. The one you're most likely going to go for is the next card. 2 copies of Archosaur. Another great extender piece simply because it can pop a dinosaur from hand or field in order to add a double evolution pill. And not to mention that it's a level 1 monster, so you could just link it off for like a Link Rebo or something like that if you wanted to go that route. Next, 2 Baby Ceratosaurus, one of the best dinosaurs. It's a little bit of a brick if you open up with too many, if you happen to open up with both, but if you search it out, in order to pop it for Archosaur, it's really good. The fact that you get to summon any level 4 or lower dinosaur monster, mandatory by the way, it's pretty nice. And of course, we do have its counterpart, Petite Pteranodon. You only run this at 1 simply because it only summons level 4 and higher. So it's a good way to access your Pankratops. And also the monster cannot attack the turn its own, but if you're going first, it really doesn't matter. So yeah, 1 Petite is fine. 1 Giant Rex, another good extender piece. The fact that if it gets banished, it special summons itself back. So pretty nice. It can't attack directly, but that really never really matters. You just use it for rank 4 fodder or just to beat over something that's pretty big. So Giant Rex, not too bad. Next, 1 copy of Pankratops, of course. It's a Cyber Dragon, but also has an effect where you can pop a card. So not only can you attack with this card, but you can also pop a free card. So Pankratops is just really busted. Next, 2 copies of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. This is your primary boss monster. It's a Book of Eclipse, and it can attack over everything. So yeah, Tyranno, definitely an amazing boss monster. Still one of the best to this day. All right, now moving on to hand traps. I'm actually only running 2 different kinds. 3 copies of Artifact Lancia. So some people chose to side this out. I'm actually main decking it simply because I feel like it's the smart thing to do, because Lancia can stop almost everything right now. It stops Eldritch, so like they can't banish their traps on the end phase. It stops the mirror match because dinosaurs need to be able to banish in order to summon that Tyranno. It also hurts Dragon Link because they have their Chaos monsters. So I feel like main decking Lancia is going to be a staple now, because like the fact that you can shotgun your opponent during the standby phase, it's just really good to just stop them from really getting to anything really. It also stops Pot of Prosperity, so if you shotgun this during the standby phase, they can't even attempt it. So, and the same can be said through Pot of Extravagance too. So yeah, Lancia is just so flexible, this format. I'm also running the Siphon Gear package. The fact that they can negate and destroy, yeah, I don't see no reason not to run it. I mean, you could also side this out for something else, but I chose to main deck it. And that pretty much wraps up the monsters. All right, moving on to spells. 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. So you can banish 3 or 6 cards from your extra deck of your choice. Of course, for the rest of the turn, you can't use any effects to draw a card, but that never really matters because you're just digging through. You're not really doing any draw strength anyway. But the fact that you can basically Pot of Duality 6 cards and choose one to add to your hand is really nuts. So yeah, this card really has little to no restriction. So Pot of Prosperity, definitely a busted card. I'm so happy I own 3 of these now. Next, 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More. This is one of the best cards going second right now because Dragon Link is no doubt going to be the best deck right now. And the fact that this card also stops Dragoon is really nice too. So like the fact that you can just negate all monsters on the field, it's just, and they can't respond to it, is pretty good. But also your opponent takes no damage for the turn. But does that really matter? No, because Tyranno clears boards. That's really all that's going to matter. So like just clear the boards, just get your opponent to lose all his resources, just like that. 3 Fossil Dig, just to the fact that it's a Rhoda for dinosaurs. I mean, why wouldn't you, right? 3 Lost World, pretty nuts, especially against Mystic Mine players, which I think Mystic Mine is making a resurgence. I know some Dino players like to main deck Mystic Mine. I decided to side out my copies of Mystic Mind simply because it needs to be for the right matchup. Because Mystic Mind against control heavy strategies, it's not going to do anything to them. So that's why I decided to side it out. 1 Terraforming, of course. 2 copies of Double Evolution Pill. And I'm actually main decking these cards. 2 copies of Twin Twisters and Harpy's Feather Duster. Yeah, we got combo decks again, but I feel like back row heavy strategies are still going to be relevant. So just as a precaution, I'm still main decking like back row removal, like against Eldritch, Guru Control, Altergeist, like anything like that. I just want to be prepared because this deck does lose to back row heavy strategies if you're not really prepared for it. So like I said, it's all just a precaution. Better safe than sorry, right? All right, so that's it for the main deck. Now moving on to the extra deck. The extra deck is pretty self-explanatory. At least now with Pot of Prosperity, your extra deck can have some more variety this time. So 1 copy of Dolka, negates monsters. Lagia, that can negate summons or spells and traps. Abyss Dweller, Tornado Dragon. Dugaris is actually more relevant now. The fact that you can double the strength of your Tyranno, yeah, just that really comes in clutch. Gaga Cowboy. Now, you might wonder why not Gustav Max. Gustav Max is great and all, but the problem is like it's harder to get into that monster because like you have to commit to 2 Tyrannos, whereas Gaga Cowboy, you're going to be spending more rank 4s than rank 10s. So it just felt more correct to run it this way. Yeah, you could run Baguska instead, but Baguska kind of shuts down your dinosaurs if it's in defense mode. So like, yeah, that's why I felt like Gaga Cowboy was probably the better pick of the 2. So anyway, or the 3, I should say. But yeah, that's just my preference. Of course, 1 Synchro Monster being Cyframe Lord Omega to recur, and also the fact that he can rip cards out of your opponent's hand for a turn. It's pretty nice. All right, and for the links, of course, I'm running Lambda since, we are running the Cyphering Gear package. If we end up going first, it's a good way, we can easily make this real easily, and that way, even once we have our board set up and we have Cyphering Gear Gamma in our hand, we can still activate it from hand as long as this card remains on the field. I got Pentastag to give Tyranno piercing damage. Link Karibo, again, it's a good way to deal with mirror matches, especially if your opponent gives you the token. Just link it off for a Link Karibo, and then go into Secure Gardener. Running 1 of each of the Nightmares, 1 Phoenix. Cerberus is actually really good again. And of course, Unicorn. And for the boss, for the last monster, it could be anything you want. I chose to go with Axis Code Talker. Just felt like, this seemed all right. You could also try Underworld Goddess. Underworld Goddess is actually not a bad option, but I would suggest running IP Masquerena, so like maybe replace 1 of the Nightmares. It's really up to you. And that's pretty much it for the extra deck. And yeah, moving on to the side deck. Side deck is also fairly self-explanatory. Now the meta's still shaping up, so like this may be adjusted from time to time, but running 3 copies of Nibiru, I feel like this card is going to be excellent this format because again, we do have combo strategies again. We got 3 Ash Blossom in case if I need to use it. 3 Drone Lockbird. As I mentioned, I am setting out Mystic Mind simply because to me it feels like it has to be for the right matchup, and plus you need to know for sure if you want to go second, so that's why I decided to side it out instead. And for the rest, it's just some one-offs. I got Raigeki and Dark Hole simply because I don't own any Lightning Storms. If I did, I would run them, but I'm not going to invest on them because I'm pretty sure they're going to get reprinted this year, so I'm not too worried about Lightning Storm. And last but not least, 1 copy of Caught by the Grave. So, yeah, I felt like this was pretty alright. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will catch you guys again next time.